Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some pistachio butter cookies. But before I go on to that, let me just say that you may have noticed I didn't post a video on Wednesday as I usually do. And I've been posting 2 videos a week in the main for the last 9 years or so. But I've actually decided that I'm not going to attempt or keep going at 2 a week all the time. I'm going to make videos, probably at least 1 a week, but just videos as I come across recipes that I want to try. After 9 years, I've found it a little bit onerous to keep going on trying to find new things to do without repeating myself too much. So there will be probably about 1 a week at least, and sometimes there might be 2 a week. But anyway, I'll go on to talk now about the pistachio butter cookies. So I should say that you can use any nut butter you want. You can use peanut butter for your cookies, or you can use almond butter. Any type of nut butter will work for these cookies. But because I had some pistachio nut butter that I had left over from a recipe recently, I thought I would use it to make some cookies. So I start off by preheating my oven to 180 degrees Celsius, that's 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit, and I have a couple of baking trays lined with silicone mats, or you could use parchment paper. And with that said, I'll go on to the ingredients. And for this, I have 113 grams, which is 8 tablespoons of softened unsalted butter. And then I have 100 grams, which is half a cup packed of dark brown sugar, 100 grams, half a cup of caster sugar. You could use all caster sugar if you wanted to, or granulated sugar, but the dark brown sugar will give extra flavour. I have 130 grams, half a cup of pistachio butter, and basically that is simply pistachios, ground or roasted pistachios if you can get them, raw pistachios, ground as finely as you can, and you keep on grinding them until they turn into this butter. And to go with that, I have 70 grams, half a cup of ground pistachios, and I have simply ground those quite finely with my food processor. I have 1 medium egg, which would be large in the USA, 178 grams, which is 1 cup plus 3 tablespoons, based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup of plain flour. I have 1.5 grams, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, 1 gram, a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 gram, a quarter of a teaspoon of baking powder, and 5 milliliters, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And that's all the ingredients, and so we simply need to mix everything together, basically. And we'll start off by creaming the butter and the sugar. And I'm going to do this with my hand mixer, but you could do it with a stand mixer if you wanted to. And I'm going to put both types of sugar into a large bowl. Then I'm going to add the butter in, and I'm going to cream those until it's all nice and fluffy. And creaming them will probably take a couple of minutes. I just want them nice and fluffy, basically. So that's good. And then I'm going to add in my pistachio butter and mix that through. And then I'll add in my egg and my vanilla extract and whisk those and get those fully combined as well. And then I'll just set that to one side for a moment, and I'll take my flour and put in my salt, the baking soda and the baking powder, and give those a mix through just to get those mixed in a little bit. And then I will add that into my bowl. I'm going to add in my ground pistachios as well. And then I'm just going to mix that on a low speed until it comes together. And that didn't take long, and it's not quite together, but I will use a spatula to fold in the remaining dry ingredients. So I'll just turn that over and fold it so that everything is mixed in. And then I'm going to divide that into 18 equal portions to make 18 pistachio batter cookies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about 41 grams of my dough, which is that amount. I'm going to roll that into a ball and place it on my baking tray. And do the same with the remainder, and I'm going to use 2 trays. So here I have 18 of my balls of dough rolled out, and I've just wet the tines of a fork, and I'm going to press down in one direction and then again in the other direction on each of the balls, just like that. And I'm going to put those into the oven, and I'm going to bake them for between 10 and 12 minutes. And they should bake up quite nicely. They should be slightly crisp around the edge, but they'll still be a little bit soft on the inside. And I'm going to take them out of the oven and leave them on the trays for 5 minutes. Then I transfer them to a wire rack, and when they've cooled down completely, I'll come back and show you the results. I baked the pistachio butter cookies for 12 minutes. They baked up nicely. They did spread slightly more than I thought they were going to, but I think that could easily be remedied if I wanted to by grinding the ground pistachios slightly finer, or by reducing the amount of pistachio butter that I put into the recipe. Either of those will actually reduce the amount that they spread, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to do that because I'm perfectly happy with the way they are. So they baked up quite nicely, crisp on the outside and chewy in the centre. I'll show you what they look like. And as I said, you can see that they've spread quite a bit, which means they've lost a little bit of the definition, but that doesn't matter. And I've eaten one and I've been eating a second one, which I'll have a taste of again now. That's very, very good. Has such a wonderful flavour of pistachio. And crisp on the outside edge, but then nice and chewy in the middle. I personally am not a fan. I don't very much like peanut butter. So this pistachio butter alternative is very good for me. But as I said at the beginning of the video, you could actually make these cookies with any nut butter that you care to make or that you have on hand. So a very simple recipe which doesn't take very long. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.